Hopefully everyone has a text editor installed by now. If you don't, feel free to install one right now. And also download this repository. If you just go right here, download zip, and you unzip the file, you should be good to go on that. From that point on, you can open up Starter website, which contains all like the template files that we're going to be working with today. Okay. So what is HTML? What is CSS? What is JavaScript? That's a big question. HTML is hypertext markup language, and CSS is called cascading style sheets. But what does that actually mean? Essentially, HTML is like the skeleton of your web page. It sort of shows you like the structure of how everything's going to be laid out. You can put your text, your images, and videos, and whatever other media you have with your HTML code. But your cascading style sheets, your CSS, is what's going to make it look pretty and with colors and have all sorts of fun stuff. The cool thing is that JavaScript is also HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. All three of those things combine to sort of make the very basics of like any like dynamic website. So JavaScript allows you to change variables in your HTML and CSS to change the appearance or make it look cool and do all sorts of other fun stuff. So before we begin, let's go ahead and go to the actual final product to see what it looks like before we get started. If you click this link right here on the GitHub, it's a dtravi.com tutorial website, final website, index.html. This is kind of what it's going to look like in the end. And if you click this button, it'll take you to different blog posts.
I can't see it.
You can't see it? Oh, crap. My bad. Here we go. Thank you for letting me know, by the way. So if you click these buttons, it'll take you to different blog posts. And this one will take you all the way back up. You've got your name, WD developer, of course, student, sibling, skater, software developer. This guy sounds pretty cool. You've got your about, which has your name, your email, your phone number, your location, and a little bit about you, and these cool little icons that you can click to link to your Spotify, your GitHub, your LinkedIn, your Twitter. If you head on over to resume, it'll show you your name again, and then it'll be like, oh, I'm looking for full-time software engineering role at software companies. This guy really likes software. If you click resume, it'll show you to this little embedded file with your resume on it. And if you go on over to projects, it's empty. So this is the part that we mentioned earlier about a challenge. At the end of the tutorial, I'm going to challenge you guys to finish this website on your own time. And if you end up finishing it, feel free to let me know or let any of the officers know and send us like a screenshot or something so that we can give you brownie points and probably feature you on like our website or Facebook. I feel like that would be really cool to see what you guys come up with. So without further ado, let's go back to the actual website. Home. And if it's different on different browsers, but if you have Chrome, you can right click and click the inspect element tool right here. Is everyone able to do that? Okay. Right click, inspect. And if you hover over here, this is all the HTML code involved in making this website. If you go to any other website, you can do this too. You can check out how other web developers have made their website, and you can even change stuff inside of it in order to pull some funny pranks on your friends. So you can say, go Gata. And there you go. You exit out of this, you take a screenshot, send it to your friends, and you'll be like, look, wouldn't you believe that this person put Go Gata on their website? Isn't that hilarious? So yeah, you can do all sorts of fun stuff with Inspect Element Tool. Right here on the right, you can see the CSS used in your web page. So the entirety of this part is HTML, which makes like the structure of your website. And right here is all your styles. So if, let's say, I want to change if I like click this right here, the style that changes this part's font goes back to its original. Let's see what else we can probably change. Text align. If we don't text align to the center, it's going to move to the left. And you can just play around with it if you want. 1 second. Okay, so moving on. Let's see. All right, so now we're going to do a little quick start guide to HTML and CSS. So if everyone opens up Atom right now and opens up a new file, press Command S to save the file. You can save it wherever you want. I'm going to save it right here. I'm going to name it HTML starter.html. And we're just going to start writing out some HTML. So if you go ahead and write H1 like that, can everyone see the text or is it too small? You think? Is that better? Good. Okay, how do I change the text size?
Are we filming this?
Yes. Right here. Let me know. Yeah. Hold on a minute. I think I exited out of the video recording. There we go. Is that all right? Good? Okay. So you're always going to want to start off your HTML with a starter tag and an ending tag. So right here, we're going to do H1 like that. And what H1 is, it's called a header. So that's where you're going to put like a title. So let's put title. And then underneath that, we're going to use a paragraph tag to write a paragraph. So let's write, this is my first HTML website. Awesome. Oh, good. And you just save that. Show in Finder. Open the file in your browser, like such, and there's your HTML loaded to automatically to your browser. Now this isn't actually on the internet. It's hosted on your computer, on your local computer. But if you need any help hosting your website at the end of the tutorial, I'm more than welcome to help you out with that. So let's just keep going. If you add more H tags, more header tags, you can make smaller titles. And you just do Command C, you write even smaller, and you'll see that the more numbers you add to your headers, the smaller the text gets. So that's how you can make a basic structure to a simple text website, like an outline on your document to maybe put notes up or something like that. So this is just basic HTML, but the way that HTML works is that it has a structure, right? So if you go ahead and follow me here, we're going to write HTML. At the end of this, we're going to do \HTML to enclose all of those tags within HTML. Then we're going to write head. We're going to do \head. And then we're going to do body, \body. And within body, we're going to take all of this, Command X, and paste it into our body. Please save. Nothing's really different about it on the surface, but it's really important that we include this structure because our body is what's supposed to contain all the text and structure that we want to give our document. And the head is supposed to include links, metadata, some other stuff too that we'll go over in just a little bit. Okay? Is everyone good with that so far? Awesome. So let's make another paragraph tag. This is another paragraph. Within paragraph tag, we're going to do a break. That means that when we type this out, the browser is just going to interpret that as like a next line. So it's going to cut that sentence right in the middle. After that, we're going to add like a little image. We're going to do image source equal to, now bear with me for right now, /image, no dot, image forest.jpg, right? Everyone good with that so far? All good? I'm going to assume that's a yes. So let's reload, and that image is probably going to be, maybe I was wrong. Maybe we do need a dot slash. Oh no, it's a wrong directory. Hold on. Oh, I see. It's within starter-website/image forest.jpg. So the important thing to note about source is that you have to make sure you're sourcing your files from the right directory. So I was always used to having my file within this little folder right here, but I actually have it outside of that folder, so I need to navigate into that folder in order to access this image folder that contains all the images we're going to be using. So if you go ahead and reload that, you have like this giant picture in the middle of your website because it's just a really high def picture. So we're actually going to use a little bit of CSS to make it the size that we want it. So we're going to give it a height of 100 pixels, and we're going to give it a width of 100 pixels. So the way that CSS works is that you have what you want to change about an element, how you want, like what you want to change about the element, and exactly how you're going to change it. So we've already selected this image that we want to only affect this image with our CSS, but we want to change the height of it and the width of it. So if you save and reload, it should show like a really small little picture. And that's how you can go about changing elements on your website using CSS. Is everyone good with this so far? All good? Okay. So moving on, we're going to use what's called an anchor tag to make links to websites. So we're going to do http www.google.com. We're going to close that anchor tag, and we're going to name it this is a link to Google, right? So what an anchor tag is, it's used whenever you want to link to something else, like another part of your own website or maybe somewhere else on the internet. This href is just where you put the address of your website that you want to link to, and within here it's just like the name of the link that you want to give it. So if you go ahead and reload this website, here you can click this link and it'll take you to, oh, I put too many W's. Hold on. And there you go, it'll link to Google, just like that. Okay, is everyone good with me so far? All right, so we're gonna make what's called a division now. A division is just basically like, think of it like a little container of data that you can use your CSS to change up a little bit. Within our division, we're going to make an unordered list. So what that means is we're going to make a list with those little black dots as opposed to a numbered list. which you would just use li for. Alright, so we're going to do, I'm going to go feed the dog. Then after that, I'm going to eat lunch. And then after that, I'm going to go to sex meeting. So there we go. This is just like a little way we can make a list on our website. So we can go feed the dog, eat lunch, and go to the software engineering club meeting. We're also going to keep using some CSS. Let's change up the style one more time. We're going to do text align center because we wanted it the center. Then we're going to use the color red to make it look red. There are certain little like keywords that you can use when you're changing the color in CSS. Like you can do either a hex value, which will be like a bunch of letters and 6 letters and numbers, or you can use keywords like white, black, red, blue, green, basic colors like that. If you go ahead and just reload your website, you'll see that your unordered list is right here in the center and it's all red. And so you can just play around with stuff like that. It's super harmless. Like the cool and frustrating thing about HTML and CSS is that there's no such thing as an error, really. Your browser will still try to load your website even if you're missing like a semicolon or like a quotation mark. So sometimes it might be hard to find your errors, but the cool thing is you don't get to break anything. You know, nothing is beyond repair. Alrighty, so now we've been doing CSS within our div tag and our image tag, but that's not exactly very object-oriented, if any of you are familiar with that term. It's not cool because you don't want to have to change every element individually. You want to do one thing that takes care of all of it for you. So the way that we're going to be able to do that is we're going to add style right here at the very top, and then we're going to use what are known as selectors to try to find the elements that we want to change. So instead of changing the CSS right in here, what we're going to do is we're going to give it an ID equal to list, right? And then at the top within our style brackets, we're going to use hashtag list, and within list we're going to change the color to red. We're going to make the text align to center, and there we go. And so instead of having all that ugly stuff like in the middle of our HTML, we can go ahead and put our style within the style tags to make it, you know, a lot better. So if we decide to make more lists like this one, we don't have to go about adding the same style to each list we make. Instead, we just do it once and we change it for all of them. So if you go ahead and change that up, you can see that the CSS is still in place and we have 2 lists that we didn't have to do extra work for. Does everyone understand that concept so far? Okay, awesome. So there are different ways that you can use selectors. If you go on to my README, I've got some examples of all the different selectors that you can use with your CSS. So we use the hashtag specifically because we made it an ID, but if we decide to make it a class, we'd have to use .example and change everything within there. If we want to change all the paragraph tags that we use, we would just put the P, or if we want to change all the images to have the same shape, we would just use image. And you can also nest selectors so that you can choose an element with an ID equal to example, and within example you can pick all the paragraph tags within there without changing on any of the other paragraph tags. And there's like a bunch more examples of selectors right over here, like all the ways that you can use them. And honestly, too many to count. But yeah, that's just a little introduction to that. So let's go ahead and keep coding. So we talked a little bit about structural tags, but right now we're going to go ahead and move on to our actual index.html file within Starter website. So as you notice, our head actually has some stuff. What does that stuff all mean, though? So what the head does is whatever is displayed in the head, whatever is written in the head is not displayed on your browser. Instead, you'll be giving it metadata, some links to outside sources, a title. Today we're going to be using a script and a style sheet, which is like a separate file for CSS. What metadata is, it's data about data. I know it's redundant, but sometimes data about data is necessary, like that we're using a character encoding called UTF-8. This is just to make it compatible on mobile. We're giving it a title so that when we hover over here, if you notice right here on our browser, it says DevEd developer. That's because we gave it a title equivalent to DevEd developer. We're importing our Bootstrap Library, which is a front-end JavaScript framework. We've got some fonts from googlefonts.com. I love that website, but I guess you guys can look at it later. We are importing our script.js file this way. We're saying, oh, okay, it's a type of JavaScript, and this is the source of it because it's right here. And this is our style sheet, which is like where we're going to write the majority of our CSS for this tutorial. Yes?
What file is that?
Oh, it's called index.html. It's under Starter website. Yeah?
You're saying compatible on mobile? Like, what does that command do exactly to make it compatible?
Okay. Well, it takes the width and it makes it equal to the device minus the width. If any one of my officers would want to chime in a little more about that, feel free. It's just something you include in your HTML to take care of that for you. What?
What exactly does the command do to make it like scale down? Does it just like scale the contents of it?
Yeah, it scales it based on the size of the window. So like if you were to open this right now, depending on how large the window was, as you move it in, the contents will adjust to be formatted correctly. And as you adjust it to the size of the screen, it'll work better. Like it'll get a menu and put it into like a little hamburger.
Yes, like when you go to browsers on your phone, for example, like it knows the size of the screen, but by including that metadata, it'll like automatically resize based off the screen.
So nothing looks weird when you change the size.
So if you were to like change the window without that command, it would just like cut off.
Yeah, like for example, like when
You know what? Let me try that actually. Just commenting it out. Oh, no, yeah, I'm on the wrong file. Go to index.html right here. Comment it out and see what it does. Still works, but that's probably because of Bootstrap. That's what Bootstrap does. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like if there's not something to catch it, like as she moved it, it would just like cut off all the contents.
Awesome. So let's move on. We've got our script file, our CSS file, and that's pretty much it for our head for right now. A little bit more on JavaScript. So how many of you know what Bootstrap is? Or at least a little familiar? Okay. So we're going to be using Bootstrap's, like their examples and their documentation. This right here, if you pull up the README on GitHub, you can go ahead and copy this, Command-C, and paste that into your body. So what this does is that it'll call upon Bootstrap's like libraries and their way of doing it, and it'll load it on our website so that we can have a really neat navigation bar at the top of our website with kind of little to no effort, really. And the way we are able to do that is because we are importing them right here with using this link. Does everyone understand that concept, more or less?
Where does it go in the body?
Just in the body, anywhere, at the top.
How are we copying it?
If you go to the GitHub, /personal website tutorial. On the README, right here, we're going to be copying and pasting this part. Do you know how to get to that part?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So basically, this is Bootstrap's little navigation bar. I decided to make it a fixed top, which is why I have this written in right here. We're going to give it a light background. And that's it for more of the explanation. So it uses a navigational tag to show us what the navigation's like. Within that, we have a division that controls the unordered list. And within that, the unordered list, we have these tiny little lists containing anchor tags, which link to different parts of our website. We go ahead and write in, if we go ahead and save, and we open our actual file, you can see right here that we have this little neat navigation bar. But if we click it, it really doesn't take us anywhere. And we got to change the text up a little bit too. So if you go back to your navigational bar, you can write in right here. Let's write home, about, resume, projects. And if you go ahead and change the href to /index.html, which is referring to the link that the anchor tag is going to send you to. This is going to be about.html /resume.html, then /projects.html. Everyone good with that so far? Or do you need a little more time? Yeah. Alrighty, I'm just gonna move on a little bit. And if we go ahead and reload our website, you can see on the browser and right here, it's linking you to the different parts of our website. So far, we have nothing on the About, Resume, or Projects page, so nothing is obviously going to show up just yet. But just patience, we're gonna get to that. So right now, we have that navigational bar, but I want to change the font of it. So we're going to take this ID right here, that I decided to name it navbar -font. And since it is a ID, I'm going to give it a hashtag of navbar-font, open brackets. And I'm going to name it, I'm going to give it a font-family called Sanchez. And it's going to be a serif font. Good, and so if we go ahead and just reload that, it's really subtle, but you can see that the font had changed. But you know what? We decided to make a style file for this reason. So when we navigate to the other pages like the about.html, the resume, the projects, we want to see the same font in all of those pages without having to copy and paste this to every single file that we have. So we're going to go ahead and Command X to cut that out of that page, and we're just going to put it in our style file. And the reason this works is just because we have the link right here in our header that links us to that file that we're inheriting all of those style attributes to our HTML. So if we reload our page, nothing changed because we still have it in our style file, even though it's not in our style tag. Alrighty. So then now let's work on a landing page. So if you remember the actual website, you saw that there was like this big picture and some text in the middle. We're going to start working on that right now. So if you head on over to the GitHub README, you can go ahead and copy this little division right here and paste it into your doc so that we have a division with a class name of image and a division with a class name of text. Within the header, let's go ahead and write our names. And within the paragraph tag, we're going to go ahead and name it, I don't remember, it was like student, skater, developer, and S. And while you guys are doing that, we can just check out kind of what it looks like. And it's right there all the way in the top left corner, and you can't even see it because the nav bar is covering it. So how we're going to fix this is by using CSS to put it in the middle of our page and loading a really nice image into the background. So if we go ahead and scroll up to our style tags, was everyone okay with writing this down already? It was this division right here. Image, div class equal image, and then
We're putting that, like we're copying it into
yeah, within the body tag after the navigation bar.
an index.
Yeah, in index.html. Oops. Alrighty. So if we go ahead and move on to .image, and we use background dash image, we can do URL, give it a URL of image /forest.jpg. And the reason we're putting it in our style tags is because every page wants to have a different image in the background. So this one we want to use the forest picture. And so if we go ahead and reload, it's there, but it's like, you can hardly see it. So we're going to keep using some CSS to change that up. Is everyone okay with that so far? So moving on to our style file, we're going to write .image. We're going to do height equal to 100%. We're going to do background position center. We're going to do a background repeat, no repeat. And we're going to do background size of cover. I'm going to give it a position relative because we want it to be relative to the other elements on the page, and Command S. And if we keep going, we're going to change up the text to text align center. We're going to do position equal to absolute, do top 50%, left 50%. Gonna do transform, translate to -50%, -50%, and change the color over to white. Going to do a font family of work sans. Sans serif. And if everyone's done copying that over, just let me know. Is everyone good with that so far? Not yet? I can imagine. It's on the GitHub too, so if you just want to command copy and command V.
I'd also tries to fill it in for you.
Yeah. Sublime has that too, I think. Does Sublime have autocomplete?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is everyone good with that so far? I'm going to say yes. So if we just go ahead and reload our page, here we have this beautiful landing page, our text in the middle, and our little blurb on at the bottom. So we actually want to change the font right here because you always try to match a serif font with a non-serif font. So if you go over to index.html, we're going to change. Let's check out what the ID is. The class is text is the image. If we do .text h1, we can change the font of the header without changing the font of the paragraph. So we can do font-family, do Sanchez, and we're going to name it a serif font. And if we go ahead and just reload that, here we go. We have our serif font followed by a non-serif font. It's really simple, really. So now we're going to make these blog style posts after our landing page. So if you go on over to the GitHub and take this part right here under blog style posts, and you copy that part over to underneath your landing page on the inside body, you have your ID and your class, and let's put a title in. So let's name this post 1, and right here you have your paragraph, which contains like some random text, and let's go ahead and reload it. You won't be able to see it just yet. Oh, well, yeah, you can. So there you go. We have our post and our paragraph text at the bottom. But this doesn't look exactly aesthetically pleasing. So we're going to use some CSS to change that up. If we go ahead and go to our style file and we change our hashtag paragraph posts, we add text align, center, font family, work sans, and we do a sans serif font. We go ahead and go to .post, and we change the width over to 100%, change the height to 100%. We change the padding on the right to 100 pixels, padding on the left, 100 pixels, and what padding does is basically it adds spacing in between elements on your web page. So let's do a text align of center. We want it in the middle. Font dash family Sanchez, and name it to give it a serif. And we do padding on the top to 100 pixels. And we change the color over to white. That's our aesthetic. I'm sorry, was everyone done typing that out? Probably not. good, I'm gonna assume. So then within style, we kind of want to change the background of our posts. So the way we're gonna do that is we're gonna look at the ID. It's named first, so we're gonna do hashtag first. Within that, we're gonna change the background color to, bear with me for right now, hashtag A4 A89F. And that's going to be like a greenish color that I just picked from Color Picker on Google. Alrighty, so if you just go ahead and reload, you'll see that we now have our little blog style posts. Awesome, so let's add 3 more. So the way we're going to do that is we're just going to basically copy and paste this part right here 3 times. And we've got first, second, and third. So a neat thing that we're doing right here is we're giving it the same class, but not the same ID, because we want to change the color of each individual post, but not the overall style of each post, if that makes sense. Let's change it over to post 2, post 3, and then if we go on to our style, and we do hashtag second, hashtag third, we can change the background color, and this one, the second one's going to be hashtag 737 A6B. Oh, I put too many. If we change the background color of this one to hashtag 545 B4B, and we go ahead and reload our website, you can see that we now have all of our blog style posts in place, ready to be scrolled through. But let's add some buttons to make it look cool and add some functionality to our website, you know, show off to those recruiters that are going to be looking at your website or whatever. So we're going to go ahead and create a button right here. We're going to do button. Well, actually, we're going to use a P tag. We're going to use a paragraph tag to envelop the button, and we're going to say, okay, button. We're going to give it type equal to button, and there are different types of buttons, like there's a radio button, there's like check marks, all sorts of fun stuff that you can look up later. We're going to give it a class, and now this class comes from Bootstrap's documentation. They have all sorts of examples of different types of buttons they have, and you can go on their website and check out like which one looks prettier to you or which one you want to use. When we click the button, we're not going to do anything for right now, so we're just going to add a ... And then after that, we're going to put content. That's going to be the name of the button, and we're going to do /button. And we save that and reload our website. Oh, what happened? Oh, there we go. See, you don't get errors. It'll just load your website however way it is, and if you're missing a little alligator, it's up to you to try to find out where it is and how to fix it. So right now we have our little Bootstrap button, and if we click it, nothing happens, as usual. Let's just keep adding buttons and worry about functionality in a little bit. After this, we're just going to paste this button over to post 1, post 2, and post 3. Just like that, just Command C, Command V. We're going to name this one to next, this one to next, and this one to back, because we want it to go back all the way to the top. So if we just reload, oh, yeah.
If you slow down a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's fine. I'll slow down.
You're just typing really fast.
Yeah, no worries. Just let me know. Yeah.
What did you change?
I just copied and pasted it. I didn't change anything at all about it. I just changed the name. That's all I changed, really. right here is where you can see the name of it, so content, and that's like the name of the button inside the little box that you made. Everyone good up until this point? Yes? Okay, awesome. So right now we have these buttons, but clicking it doesn't really do anything. So if we go on over to our script.js file and you head on over to our GitHub, I have some code that I found on Stack Overflow. Stack Overflow is a website for anything related to like code, any help or anything. And what it does is that it'll find the container you want to scroll to. It will find the position of it relative to where you started. It'll calculate that, and then it'll try to find a way to scroll to the next element, the element that you want it to scroll to, at a way that is like slow and elegant, without having to click. Because otherwise, if you click the button and you decide to make a function to jump to an element, it'll just go like from that page to the next one, but like really jarringly, and it's not pretty. But if we use this code that we can copy over here and paste right here, you can find, you can immediately be using this function to click the button and move to where you want to go to, depending on the ID of the element that you want to go to. Was everyone able to copy and paste that?
Where'd you paste it to?
It's on the GitHub.
Or no, where'd you put it, like when you put it in here?
Oh, in script.js. Yeah. That's where you put all your scripts for JavaScript. Alrighty. Everyone good with that so far? Alright, moving on. So on click, what we're going to write in here is we're going to do, let's see, smooth scroll, because that's the name of the function that we gave it. Smooth scroll parentheses, and within smooth scroll we're going to do document dot get element by ID, and within that we're going to do the ID of the element that we want to jump to. So for this one we want to jump to first, so within that we're going to do smooth scroll document dot get element by ID, and we're going to write in first. You just check to make sure that that's the correct syntax. Smooth scroll dot get element. Oh, no, it isn't. It's there we go. It's just like the little one quotation mark. Is everyone good with that so far? Okay, I'm going to assume yes. So then if I go ahead and reload and I click this button, it'll smooth scroll to the next point. So let's do that again. Smooth scroll. Awesome. So let's keep doing that for the next 3 buttons. And we're going to do smooth scroll, command copy. We're going to paste it onto all the other ones. For this one, we're going to change it to second because we want to move to the second element. And for this one, I'm going to change it to third because we want to move to the third. And for this one, we're going to change it to, what was the ID? Let me see. The ID is named navbar nav dropdown. So if I do navbar nav dropdown and I save that, this should work. So if you go on over to content, next, back, it'll take you through all those little, it's like a little slideshow basically. And you can get super creative with these things. You can make it jump to all sorts of places, but it'll do so in a way that is elegant and smooth. Has everyone been following me so far? Is everyone good? Yeah? Okay, so now we're going to move on to our next part. We're going to make the about. And a lot of what's involved with the about page is we're just going to copy and paste a lot of what was on our index. So if you go on up and copy this navigation bar, my touchpad isn't large enough. Let me see. Okay, let's just copy and paste all the way until post 1. So Command C and Command V. So everyone copied and pasted it successfully. Just the navigational bar and the landing page and the first post. All good? Okay, so we're just gonna change this up. We're gonna change the text to an H3 tag, and we're going to name it, we're gonna give it our email at gmail.com. If you copy this over and paste it, it's going to be, let's put our number. We're going to put that I am in Gainesville, Florida, right? So if we click this button, it'll still jump to the next post. Under post 1, we're going to do about me. And we're going to remove this button because we don't need it. We're not jumping to any other point in the file. After this, is everyone okay with that? Yeah, okay. I got you. Okay. Alrighty, so after this point, we're going to change the style up here. We're going to change dot image. And we're going to say background image dash image. And we're going to change it to URL. Same as before, we're going to do URL image slash, what's the name of that? It's building.jpg. And then we're just going to change the color of the background post. We're going to be like, oh, first, and background color. And we're going to change it to hashtag F7CEA3, right? And if you just save that and go ahead and reload, we jump to the about page. Here's our image with our text and our header and the little about me part, right? All good so far? Just a couple minutes more.
Go back to the HTML file.
Yeah. All of this is in the about.html file right here.
It was just one of the I'm not sure what, sorry, I don't know what I'm saying.
Oh, that's fine. Go for it.
One of the first, sorry.
You okay?
Yeah.
I can explain. I mean, we have the index file and we have the about file. And in our navigable bar, we navigate to different parts, different files, basically. When we load up this page, we're loading up that file from our directory. So then, after this point, we're going to add some little icons to the bottom. Right here, we're going to put we're going to do href is equal to www.spotify.com. We're going to do I class equal to Spotify, and we're going to give it -2x. So if we're going to write aria dash hidden, equal to true / I a, and there we go. So what this is basically doing is we have an anchor tag. It's going to link us to somewhere else. Within I, we are using this class, which is a part of one of the things that I have included right here in the header. This style sheet, which is a path to Font Awesome. If you go to fontawesome.com, they have a ton of icons and cool stuff that you can use in your website. So it's just going to show like the little Spotify logo. And we can change this up to do different sizes, like 3 times or whatever you want. If you just go ahead and reload the page, you can see that the little icon is right here. And, well, I forgot to write HTTP. My bad. I gotta write HTTP // and if you just reload that, it'll link you to Spotify in a minute. And there we go. We have a little icon that links us to Spotify. Now you can use this for like GitHub, LinkedIn, anything else really that you want to use. They have a ton of different companies and websites and stuff like that. Okay. So we're just going to move on to our next page if everyone's good with that. Everyone's good with this so far? Okay, awesome. So if we jump on ahead to resume, we're going to do the same thing we did before. We're going to copy the navigational bar. We're going to copy this first part. And we're going to paste that in here. And that's basically it. We're going to write a little blurb right here. So we're going to change our header 3 tags to paragraph tags. And we're going to write, okay, I am a sophomore CS student looking for internships, PLS, please. And so when we click this button, we want to show our resume. Let's remove the about part. Change up. Should we include a paragraph? No, we shouldn't. We remove this part, and we're just going to do embed source equal to. Let me pull up the source. I'm going to do dev.d.pdf. And we're going to do type equal to application /PDF. And we're going to do a width of 100%. And we're going to give it a height equal to 80%. The reason I picked these numbers is because I just tried it out and saw which one kind of looked the best on our website. And if you go ahead and go to resume, oh, we forgot to do the image. Hold on. If we do .image, we change background image URL. We change that over to image / what was it? backpack.jpg. Can change that. And there's our little resume page with our backpack image. If we click this button, we have our resume embedded inside the resume page. And we scroll back up, and that's our resume. So yeah, you can go ahead and change the color if you want. It's a hashtag, let me see. Yeah, hashtag first, background image. Oh, nope, just background. My bad. Let me change it to hashtag B18, C75. Save that, and we've got our resume on a nice looking background. Would you look at that? There you go. I feel like this guy's ready for some internships. His personal website, his about page, and all this stuff. So yeah, that's the end of that. Thank you guys so much for coming out. thank you. If you go ahead and go to the GitHub, I have some really helpful links that I was using. So right here you have Bootstrap's documentation files. Here's just like a quick start to getting with Bootstrap, and they have examples right over here, and you can use these examples for whatever you want. It's open source. There's also the challenge. So yeah, I mentioned it at the beginning, but I'll just reiterate. If you guys go ahead and finish your website and show me the results, we can get you featured on our website or Facebook. And you'll get some awesome brownie points with the e-board. I recommend using cards, which are these little containers from Bootstrap's documentation. They're really cute. You can add like a picture and a link, so you can put, oh, this is my mobile app I made at the Software Engineering Club, and this is how I made it. This is a picture of it, and if you click right here, you can go to the GitHub where I have it uploaded or something like that. So feel free to do that. Anything else? Any questions for me right now?
Did you tell them how they can host their website on GitHub for free?
Yeah, so I forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me, actually. So you can host your website with GitHub right here on pages.github.com. Actually, UFSec's website is hosted with GitHub, and it's completely free. Well, not completely. If you want your own domain name, you need to pay for it. But you can basically have your profile name, .com/ and the name of your repository, and it'll show you like how you can basically just host your projects on the internet for free, and it's super like painless, but maybe not so painless for people who aren't familiar with GitHub at the start. So
If you want help.
yeah, for real, if you guys need help with that, just email me or message me on Facebook or any one of us, and we can help you out with that. Yeah.
Like if you already have a host name and stuff, to update it, do you just like upload it onto the GitHub and then automatically updates your web page?
Exactly. You just need to push your repository, whatever repository you have with your domain name, and it'll change what you have. All good with that? Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for coming out.